Hello, my friends. My name is Gerdes. I'm just a professor trying to help you understand context in the war in Ukraine. Now, I'm a conservative Christian Republican, and I'm talking to you if you are also a conservative Christian. I want you to listen to me as I talk about what I'm about to talk about. So, we have this sense, this divided sense within our party. You know that, I know that. But there's one side that is supporting Ukraine, like myself, and I hope that you'll be willing to listen to my argument here. And then there's another side that comes through Trump and through Tucker Carlson and others that say Ukraine's a bunch of Nazis, which is not true. That says that Ukraine is banning entire religions, which is not true. They are dealing with the Russian Orthodox Church, the Russian branch that comes through Moscow that's filtering propaganda messages and other materials into Ukraine. And so that's what was going on there. But then totally discounts what I'm about to show you. I saw this here. Anton Gurashenko on Twitter is talking about how this is Margarita Simonyan. She is the chief propagandist for RT. If you don't think RT spills out lies constantly, just watch it for a little while. You'll see that it's not telling the truth most of the time. And I know you're not the kind of person that wants to trade in things that are not true if you're a conservative Christian who is trying to understand what's going on. She's talking about how I'm just a journalist. Why am I on an international wanted list for fear of my life, says Putin's propagandist Simonyan. Because your propaganda is killing thousands of peaceful people, you're a murderer and you know it very well. Now, he's biased. I get that. I understand that. But he compared that to this. These two, this lady and her child, they were killed by Russia. Or the day before yesterday. This just happened. Now, she's complaining because she's on some wanted list. This lady and her child were killed by a Russian missile. They targeted a civilian structure. Look at the civilian structure. This is what Russia is doing. And you have to understand that this is what Russia is doing. I mean, it's just, you hear lies, but when you see it, when you see what's actually happening, Russia targets innocent civilians. Now, I got this email from a friend. I've taught a few lectures at Christian Open Academy in Ukraine. You can look that up on your own. They just contacted me this morning, said, "It's Ilya from Christian Open Academy. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for spreading the information about Ukraine. I saw your video on the 3 big stories. I think you have this information, but I wanted to share with you. The lady and her baby on the screenshot who were killed by Russians are the evangelical Christians. If you're an evangelical Christian and you hear that Russia is talking about traditional values, they don't mean traditional values like you mean traditional values. They mean harnessing these values to serve the Russian state. They mean, as Kirill's talking about being pro-life, it is so that they have more soldiers in 20 years. That's what they mean by pro-life, not just because that child has a right to exist, which is what you're thinking if you're an evangelical Christian thinking about why you're pro-life. It's very, very different, and you need to understand that. Unfortunately, Christians also die in this war, and he's not talking about the persecution from Tucker Carlson and that sort of thing. That's just you're banned from being here with your propaganda. This is legitimate Christians being killed, evangelicals like you. Also, last week we had another piece of sad news. Chaplain Yuri Klemenko was killed when a Russian air bomb hit Kupiansk. Pastor Yuri Klemenko was at the church in the time of the attack. He's in the church when Russia is killing them in the church. Wake up, Christians. Half an hour before the strike, the prayer had just ended. Yuri and his team helped the military for many years, served as counselors, helped military families. He survived the Russian occupation, served the local community a lot, spread the Christian faith, was an active evangelist. Yuri Klemenko was supposed to be speaker at our Evangelizing During the War forum from March 14th to 16th. He's killed in the church. This is what Russia does. That is the kind of destruction that they bring to a civilian population. Who are the good guys? Are the good guys the ones attacking, killing a woman and child in her home, in her apartment? Are the good guys the ones destroying a church at prayer? Our special prayer request is that Ukrainians do not succumb to Russian propaganda, which leads them to think that they must agree to peace with Russia at any cost. And my prayer is that you, as an American, if you're listening to this, if you're an American evangelical Christian like myself, that you will listen to this and hear this and recognize you're not being told the truth by the likes of Tucker Carlson and others. All right, that's what I want to show you here. This is not okay. It's just not. And you don't want to be on this side of history. Look, if you think that I'm making stuff up about Christian Open Academy, here's me being dubbed over in Ukrainian.
Про те, що Росія підтримала Трампа, тоді демократи думали більше, що це загроза, а республіканці менше, що Росія є загрозою. А через те вони...
And here's what I was saying in English.
I mean, where if you can show that Russians are persecuting Christians because they are Christians in Ukraine, evangelicals will stand up and say, that's not right, that's wrong, this has to stop. So that's another way. And this is brought out by Jason J. Smart. He's shown polling in the Kyiv Post about how that actually moves the needle for evangelical support in Ukraine.
So that's where we are. Christians, please pray about this. Think about this. Talk to others outside the people that you normally talk to. Talk to people who are conservative Christians who support Ukraine and listen to their reasons why. I'm happy to dialogue with you. You can put your comments below. Thank you for your time, and thank you for being willing to hear this message.